Hello and welcome to F1 Manager 24 Creator Team Mode. It's Austria sprint race, I believe. So a lot to get through. No massive preamble this time round. Will just say though, as you can see in the middle there, did get the rear wing going, did fix the situation, did require me to go back in under the hood and reset all the data values back to how they were manually. So that was a bit of a faff. But other than that, that's the only other thing. I may have also fixed the confidence issue because I loaded up the last save I did in F1 Manager 23, found the value for composure, and there is a number under the hood that has changed between F1 23 and 24, and it's like a maximum threshold value, which might explain why you don't get as much benefit from overtaking and being overtaken this year. Because if that is what's affecting the size of the confidence losses and gains, then reverting that back to its F1 Manager 23 value could fix things. So fingers crossed, if that is right, and I'll pay attention to it over the next couple of races, but if that has fixed things, I will share it. If it's not fixed anything, then I'm not going to bother, obviously, and I'll change it back. But I'll keep you posted on that one. So realistically, at 79 out of 100, that's a decent value. Zane should be getting decent confident boost from doing overtakes and shouldn't be having massive confidence losses from being overtaken. So if I can get them at the very least to be bang on equal, that'll be fine. That's how it should be, really. I would say a composure over 80 should give the drivers more confidence for overtaking than they get lost for being overtaken. So if 80's around the average, because realistically you don't have staff members really with 50s and 60s in F1, it's all a bit arbitrary, really. I don't know why. It's one of those things, actually, even with drivers. Having them being marked out of 100 is always a bit of a pointless thing because you never hire the ones that are 50s. You don't see them with like 10s and 20s and 30s in these attributes. They always start at 50, even the rubbish ones. So I don't know why they bother start putting the maximum as 100. They might as well make the maximum 50 and start at 0. But, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, it is indeed a sprint race, so let's get on with it. Rain in sprint qualifying. Also interesting, this screen's got it wrong, by the way, with the sprint weekend breakdown. That might be worth noting on the forums. It's right in the game. It does it right in the game, but for some reason it's got the old format here. Now, Gary's contract ends at the end of the year. All contracts and things like that I'll sort out at the end of the year because you have to still buy out your own staff members for extending their contracts. I'll sort them out as late as possible, so it's less of a faff. It's a bit of a weird glitch, that one. I'll also say, in regards to the rear wing, the earliest it could ever get done would have been there. Using maximum engineers, the earliest it could have been done was literally, I think, 2 or 3 days before Spa. So I figured it wasn't really worth it because I'd only get one manufactured by the time Spa started. And then I'm in that running that risk of having to do emergency ones anyway. And then it's the summer break after Spa anyway. So I've only put one engineer on it. It makes it last as long as possible. It means you get the most expertise out of that because you get expertise per day. And I can still manufacture enough of those before Zandvoort. So that's why I've done it like that. So we won't see any upgrades for the rest of this patch. Zandvoort will be the next time we get a new car part. But yeah, I think 18th for each of them is fine. It's a lot of DRS, and we are good with DRS, of course. It's one of our, well, one of our average. It's one of our car strengths, but it's one that we're average on the grid for.
Welcome along to the spectacular setting of Austria. Set in the Austrian mountains, the Red Bull Ring offers fantastic views and thrilling racing. Originally built in 1970, the circuit has been part of the F1 season in its current format since 2014.
In this round, the teams have 2 races to contend with both the sprint and the Grand Prix offering the chance to bag some championship points.
Stay right here, because we're just getting started.
So it was chucking it down in that VT, wasn't it? So yeah, that's a high number on track order to start the session with. And you can see the format is correct once you actually get into the race weekend. It's just wrong on the preview. So I will see you for sprint qualifying 1, which might still be in the rain. So it's a damp SQ1 to begin with, and I've never seen a bar so consistent. I think it does get marginally wetter, but it's probably going to mean that we need to prioritize early on. Just waiting for the first flash of another team's vehicles. Just realised my front wing's not changed for some reason. Oh, Zane's got trapped a little bit. Oh, that's an unfortunate sandwich to be in. But Mick out front with a short lap. I was slightly worried, having seen previous rain qualifying sessions in particular that everyone comes out. The Canada one springs to mind. Is that because it's such a short lap here, there's a danger of actually catching the back before you've even got going. Because there goes Mick on his flying lap, and there's Piastri at the back of this queue, which he doesn't catch. 13 and 16. I used a soft tyre in practice incidentally because I figured the longer lasting tyres were probably the better option for the races. Because even though it's a short lap, the tyres don't last a huge amount of time. The hards are about half race distance. Don't know if anyone's actually improving at this point. Again, it's one of those situations where there's no real harm in trying. Take manual control and push those tyres immediately as soon as I get the option to.
Copy.
Oh, actually, is everyone coming in? Oh, actually, everyone's come in and they literally can't get back out again. Come back in, lads. So yeah, everyone's in the pits. It's pointless doing a lap. They're 13, 16. They're through. Never mind. What a weird way to end that. Alex through, Esteban through, both Haas, both Kick, Sergeant Gasly out. Annoyingly predictable everywhere else, though. Although Perez did top the charts, I suppose. That is marginally different. So he saved a medium just by virtue of not having run it there. I'm going to save it here because this is wet to begin with now, all of a sudden. Oh, look, 100% confidence. Everyone's happy. Right, so is there a point? There's no point doing a wet lap. Why is it not drying out? I didn't bother doing a wet lap because I thought it was going to go dry. 4 minutes is not enough time to get out, do a lap, come back in, do another one. So I'll try and get at the back of this queue if I can. Or at the very least, that'll do. And I'll just set them off doing 2 flying laps. I'm not going to manual this one, I don't think. There's going to be a few traffic concerns here. For some people just doing 1 lap. Right, off Mick goes then. Both drivers in this session, of course. I don't believe this is the first time both have been Q2. Obviously, Zane often misses the cut, but actually, it's worked out quite nicely for Zane there. Merck just coming out of the pits now. I believe there's a Ferrari here, which came out late, which should be easily passable for Mick at least. And I think by forcing it to slow down there, that should actually allow Zane to get there in time as well. Yeah, happens behind. No fuss there, I don't think. But the crucial thing, of course, is they get to the line with enough time here to go a second time. Right, so across the line, first time they do a flying lap, it is... I'm sorry.
Red flag, Mick.
Ah, I see what's happened there then. Well, I want to know what damage he's done. But Zayd inadvertently pulled a blinder there from Mick, sneaking in with an intermediate time and knocks out Lewis and Fernando as a result. Right, yeah, I need to know what damage he's done because Mick did actually damage an underfloor in practice, which means we haven't got any spare of the spec we're on, which is of course a problem as well. Oh, I should have been building them. I just realised. I need to know what he damaged. Oh, he hasn't actually damaged an underfloor, which is crucial. I think we might be all right. Oh, I put a brand new gearbox in. He's absolutely smashed that. They're only a million. That'll be fine. But, oh, ERS. He's damaged the ERS, which we couldn't afford to lose. He's going to take a penalty for the race because I can't. I suppose I could run the old ERS and then we'll take a penalty somewhere else. Back on intermediates, though, apparently, for Q3. Sorry. Why am I being forced to change car to car part? He's not in the session game. He's not in the session. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know why I couldn't put on the second one that we have for that. So weird. You're going to have to... Why can't I put on the... Right. Okay. This is a problem. Because Zane's car is not in this session. I would be allowed to change it to the old spec for the race. Take a penalty, I think. But I would be allowed to change it to the old spec for the race. But for some reason, it's forcing me to put the car parts on, even though he's not in the session. I'm going to have to emergency manufacture another one. I'm going to put it out there. You wouldn't begrudge me afterwards changing it to this one, removing the one that we've done, and giving myself the money back. Because this shouldn't happen. Because I have to emergency manufacture a new one just to put it on. So after the race, I'll take off a suspension and give myself that 1.2 million back again and take it out of the cost cap. Because obviously for the race, I'll put on the old spec one and then we'll go from there. Gearbox obviously is nothing I can do about there. He's absolutely buggered a complete new one there. Didn't even get the replay for it, which is odd. But yeah, that shouldn't have happened. That's a bug. I'll sort that out afterwards. Of course, it's only 8 minutes for a sprint qualifying. You want to do them at the beginning anyway. It's going to get marginally better. Obviously less vehicles, so it's less faffing around and less likely going to catch people. I mean, Mick's obviously going to qualify 10th. I don't know why I've bothered with this. I don't even know if I'm even on fresh tyres. I presume I am. I think it automatically selects fresh tyres. Obviously, if Mick then somehow breaks the suspension and I would have been then forced to emergency manufacture one anyway. I mean, at least at a point where he's already committed to using it, then everything's fine and we won't take the money back out again. If anything, that will actually solve the problem. But don't listen to that, mate. Please don't listen to that. Actually, so zoned in there, I wasn't even realising he was on a flying lap now. Completely clear run for lap 2, I think, here. Actually, that does put, with Maloney, that does actually pose a situation. Because I realised something after I stopped recording yesterday, between sessions. If I'm not mistaken, in real life, the first new powertrain parts are free. You still get the penalty for them, but I feel like the first new engine you have to put in above the allocation doesn't actually cost the team. It's either reality or it's in another game or even the previous iteration of this, but the first new powertrain part doesn't actually cost the team, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure what to do on that front, because obviously in game they charge you an absolute extortionate fee. I mean, even the ones, as I said before, even the ones that you do get charged for, even like if the first one's free and then the subsequent ones do cost. He's already got a time and he's already 10th. It's not really too much of a problem, but it's a shame that. But I think Perez is the last one to do a lap and he might be the one on track behind there. Yeah, there he goes. It's all irrelevant. We'll leave it there. But I suppose he's got enough time to get a new tyre on. Oh, that was actually an old tyre. It's only marginally well. We'll have a track time. But yeah, like I say, even if the first one's free, the subsequent ones in real life are a darn sight cheaper than they are in the game. So, I mean, there's nothing really against trying to nick 9th here, other than the fact he'll hurt us in the race because confidence. But that might be fixed. I'm not expecting him to go faster here, and indeed he doesn't.
Hello and welcome as our Grand Prix weekend continues, and the sprint will soon be upon us.
The big draw today is the opportunity to grab some extra championship points. After all, they could make the difference when the season comes to a close.
So who will reach the peak and who has a mountain to climb here at the Austrian Sprint?
I see what you did there, Crofty. Oh, for some reason I can't actually change it because you're already committed to it in qualifying, haven't you? Right. Maybe I have to just suck that up then. There's no rain today, crucially. Yeah, medium will get to the end. Can't really push it too hard. Gonna have to come off the tyres at some point a little bit just to make sure we get to the end, but other than that...
Here in Austria, we're all ready to go for the sprint. And it's lights out, and away we go.
So maybe we actually do have to deal with that emergency manufacturer then. That's just something that's going to be there. I think it is within the rules then. Yeah, because he'd obviously committed, he'd already done a lap, he'd already committed to being on that suspension, which we didn't have any spares of, which, my mistake, I guess. Mick just being done by Ocon there. That's great. We're not expecting Mick to go forwards, but I wasn't expecting him to go behind Ocon. He'll get him back there. Hards might actually be the tyre for this long term. Most people have gone medium. I was actually surprised that Ocon got the drive on those hards. So he just overtook and then got over... We got overtaken and then did overtake. His confidence is only marginally lower. Zane's is marginally higher because he's successfully defended at some point. So come off those tyres immediately, come off the fuel immediately. We'll keep an eye on that fuel. We'll keep pushing the ERS just for now. Ocon dropped well off immediately. Oh, Zane's done something. He was round the outside of Maloney. There we are. That's an overtake. Failed to overtake. I don't think I fixed it. Yeah. Because he's just overtaken twice there and got overtaken once in that process, and he's actually lost overall. Quickly just watch that back again. Didn't get to see the original replays for whatever reason, but Haas behind, fighting each other. Hamilton pushing Ocon, I assume. Yeah, down to 40. Ocon really struggling now. Alonso at the front of this batch that is hunting mixed train that starts with Tsunoda in 5th. All right, no more pushing now. Mick will probably slowly fall off this. It's a shame you don't get a point for this. If he stayed in 10th, which he won't anyway. Sorry, Maloney got Ocon. He did, yeah. That was a ballsy move around the outside there. Because really crashed there. Albon takes the opportunity on Ocon as well. Problem is, I don't think they quite have the speed to get caught up to the train ahead, because this is where we should be, realistically, with Mick. And Mick is just playing the DRS game, frankly. Sorry, Tsunoda's actually keeping up with Sainz here. Because Stroll's fallen off that train. Stroll is the pace setter now. Mick's just doing enough to stay in DRS range, I say, as he fails to stay in DRS range, but Oh, definitely got DRS there, at least off the Aston Martin, who we now follow instead. Yes, this is going to now be a compounding effect, of course, as all the faster cars come through Mick. He's going to have no confidence by the end of this race. And in all honesty, I'm tempted just to 16 times the rest of this and just accept it will be 13th, 14th. There goes his confidence. You're kidding me.
Let's have a look.
You're actually kidding me.
Now here we are tackling turn 3. Barely any room to manoeuvre. And there, the
Oh,
cars
he's
make contact.
been hit.
And
He's been
thankfully,
hit. Judging by the way that moved, he's been hit. That's a rear wing. That's not too problematic. Can I just retire the car? I don't want to put on new tyres. I mean, he's not last, but he might as well be. There goes another suspension, rear wing, and chassis. Great. Can't afford that. It was Hulkenberg.
Right, let's have a look now. Around
There we are. We
turn
actually
three.
get to see it properly this time.
Can they squeeze by?
No, they couldn't. Was obviously. This is a weekend from hell, this. Oh, VSC for some reason. Oh. Annoyingly, that's Gasly. I'm already done with this weekend, if I'm completely honest. I think that's what Zane did in qualifying. You never saw that replay, but looks similar. Outcome anyway. Irrelevant. Thankfully, people are squabbling behind Mick, so he's not losing places to people on hard tyres, which theoretically should be better at this stage. But yeah, no one's hurt themselves in front, so it's completely pointless. Well, at least that keeps the episode down. I'm allowed to change the parts between the sprint and now. So actually, because he lost that one anyway, it's kind of worked itself out. I'll risk it. I mean, this is ridiculous. I don't know if I literally can afford that right here, right now. So I'm gonna have to stick on that one and hope for the best. I can't see my money anywhere on this screen, which is so stupid, by the way, as well. So I don't know if I can actually afford to take the new engine parts right here. I presume it's trial weekend. It looks like it. Mick got stuck up the back of Ocon, so his lap was compromised. Maloney is somehow currently second. I am fascinated to know how a driver going up the back of my car actually took out the entirety of those medium tyres in the process, which, you know, makes no sense whatsoever. So Mick will have to do a good clean lap time in order to get out of him. Zane's somehow 13th with subpar car parts. Just focus on Mick to make sure he gets out of here. Sarge's got an issue that somehow still doesn't make him last. Gap's obviously not big enough for me to feel safe with Zane, so he's off on a lap as well. He's behind a Mercedes, though, which might help. Did get across the line in time, which was crucial. Mick doesn't really have anything. I do hope that Haas is on a flyer. It's a slower first sector, but I don't think that's where the time will be gained for Mick. He'll be in sectors 2 and 3 if he gets anything. There's part of it. Zane's a faster first sector, curiously. Sonoda up to 9th. That's not part of our fight. Sargent's done. It is Hulkenberg I worry about. It is Ocon I worry about. There goes Hulkenberg. Mick up to 13th. That's perfect. That's what we needed there. That does put Maloney in danger because there's Ocon behind still. Magnussen behind still. Who goes faster? Zane, though, crossing the line now. Faster in the first 2. Should still... How is he faster than Mick? He's got worse engine parts. He's got worse actual car parts. Ocon's coming around now. I think he's on a flying lap. He is. He has got a Jaguar New. I should have to be up his backside again. Neither of them improve. Maybe they fought each other on the actual lap. So both through then. Okay, slightly better.
The crowd are ready, the cars are ready. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go. He's there. And Mick Schumacher says, Dankeschön. Thank you very much.
Push again, please. Push again. Stop it. Just make sure you're looking after your tyres. Stop it.
Max Verstappen over the finish line and today's winner.
Okay, let's check the flag, mate.
Okay, checkered flag.